Hey kids, welcome to Unit 1, Lesson 10, Two-Way Selection Statements, Exercise number 1. This is an investigate and modify lesson. Let's go ahead and see what we have to do. Run the program to observe what it does. Then make the following changes to the program. Run the program after each change to observe what it does. First thing we're going to do is find the paint east turn south method in Painter Plus. What do we think it does? Then back in My Neighborhood, we're going to comment out lines 10 to 13. So only the move, take, paint, and paint east turn south methods execute. I'm going to run the program, observe the results. In Painter Plus, we're going to delete the exclamation point in the if statement, then run the program. What do you think is going to happen? Why do you think that was caused? Try uncommenting the other methods in My Neighborhood Java that you commented out in step 2, and delete the exclamation in the if statements for each method one at a time. How does the exclamation impact the behavior of these methods? Well, first thing first, let's look at the code here, then run it. In My Neighborhood, looks like we are creating a new Painter Plus object. It looks like it has a couple of methods being called, move, take, paint, and then the paint east, south, east, north, west here. And it looks like we are passing some parameters as colors. Over on our Painter Plus subclass, we have some excellent comments here. Let's see what they tell us. This creates the subclass Painter Plus from Painter. This is the constructor to create the Painter Plus object. This was our turn right method we wrote. This method is very similar to the last lesson when we took the paint and painted on there. This looks like it combined the one that we did. And it looks like we have our paint east, turn south method. Let's take a look at this real quick. While is facing east, so as long as it's facing east here, our sprite. If, and we have this exclamation point here. And what does that exclamation point do? If you remember back to APCSP, the exclamation point is a not operator. I like to call it a reverse Uno card. It's pretty much saying if the object cannot move south. So as long as the object cannot move south, you're going to move and paint a color. Otherwise, I want you to turn right and then move one space. That looks like that's going to handle painting all the way to here. And then it's going to get to here and it can turn south, so it will. And it'll move to this spot right here. But that's not all the code. There's still a little more to go. We have a paint east turn north. This looks very similar to the other code. And this one says moves and paints while facing east, as long as it cannot move north. That means that looks like it's probably going to be painting another direction coming down here. Moves and paints while facing south, as long as it's able to move. And if it won't, it'll turn left. This one actually looks like it's going to be painting down right here. Moves and paints while facing north, as long as it cannot move west. That looks like that will be painting up. And then paint west, turn south, moves and paints while facing west, and then turns right. And down here, we just have our take all paint, and that's from a previous lesson as well. This whole thing looks like to me that my sprite is going to walk over to this paint bucket, take all of this paint, move over here, paint down, paint over, paint up, and then paint over this way. So it should kind of engulf this truck And because we are passing these parameters of colors from this first part, I think it's going to completely cover this truck with different colors. Let's see if I'm right. Looking at this first one, what do I think paint east turn south did? Well, it did exactly what I thought it did. It painted white all the way to the edge of these cones right here, then turned, and then another method took over. But that method itself just walked over this way, painted, and then turned. Let's see what number 2 says. We're going to go back to my neighborhood. We're going to comment out lines 10 to 13 so only the move, take, paint, and the paint east, turn south methods execute. Then we're going to run the program and observe the results. We're going to highlight these, and kids, remember our little shortcut, control and the question mark / forward. We'll comment those all out on one line. And that leaves us just with these two here. That should just paint this white line here. This is really verifying from this first question what's happening. So I think it's just going to paint this white line and then stop. Let's see if I'm right. And it looks like I was. So the painter east turn south method really was saying as long as I couldn't turn south, I'm going to paint once and then move forward. And that's exactly what this code we went over here did. And that's what also all of these other codes do as well, just facing a different direction. Number 3 in Painter plus Java, delete the exclamation point in the if statement. So we're going to come over here and we're going to delete this exclamation point right here. Then we're going to run a program and see what happens. So what do I think is going to happen? I think pretty much the opposite is going to happen. Let's see if I'm right. Let's delete that and hit run. So the else statement ran here and it pretty much just turned right because it couldn't move. So the opposite did happen. So instead of painting over here and then when it didn't have an obstacle turn right and moved, it just turned right. Finally, let's try uncommenting the other methods in my neighborhood as we did in step 2 and see what happens. So let's do it one by one. Let's go ahead and uncomment that in the paint south, turn east. And here's that exclamation or not operator. Let's delete that and hit run and see if anything happens. Nope, nothing happened yet. Let's do one more. And this one is the paint east, turn north. And I think I saw that one right here. And this one is going to move while facing east as long as it cannot move north. And this one is if it can move north. I don't think this is going to change anything either. That's commented out. Let's hit run. We're just getting a lot of turns here. And I think that's what's going to keep happening, but we're going to verify our results. Let's do the turn west. Get rid of that exclamation point. Let's hit run again. Looks like we're just getting all the else statements to run. Let's do this last one. Turn north. And here's our turn north. And I think we're just going to get a full little circle here. Let's see if I'm right. And we did. All that happened was the else statements executed because that not operator is really taking care of three other options, saying as long as west, north, and east are true, then you can do this. So the not operator is a very important statement. Key takeaways for this lesson, kids. Big key takeaway is the not operator. Remember, the not operator is telling you to do the opposite of whatever's happening there. In our example, under Painter Plus, ours was saying if it is not on paint, paint color and then move, else turn right. Again, that's just telling it do the opposite thing. As long as you are not on the paint, do this. Hopefully this video helped you understand what the not operator was a little better. We're going to be using it a ton in this class, kids. As always, if you have any questions, come see me. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. See you later, kids. Bye. Bye.